Good morning. Good morning. This is a new day and this is a new me, and I'm coming to you live this morning, and we're so grateful and we're so thankful for what God is doing in the hearts and the minds of his people. And listen, I just want you to know today, this is a wonderful day. This is a perfect day to give God praise. I don't know what you've been through this year. I don't know what your year has been. Oh, but I want to let you know, if you made it to this point, good morning, Tony. If you made it to this point, you're on the right track. You're on the winning team, because listen, God is still moving in this day and in this hour. You may not have accomplished all that you wanted to get done. Good morning, Tina. It's good to see you this morning. You may not have accomplished all that you wanted to get done, and you don't think you're gonna have time, but you still got time. As long as God is still moving, there's always time. He's the God of the final hour. He steps right in right at the nick of time. When you think it's not gonna happen, he can make the impossible happen. Oh my goodness, I serve a God of all impossibilities, because I've learned with him there is no impossibilities. All things are possible. So no matter what you think you can't get done, keep pushing, my friend. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. You can get it done. Through him, you can do all things. That's what the word of God says. He says, through Christ, I can do all things who strengthens me. So you can get it done. You can make it happen. Just don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Do not give up. So our topic for today, and this is Friday. Oh, this is a wonderful day. I'm so excited about today, because listen, I've had some new beginnings in my life, some changes, some things that are changing, some things that are moving forward, some things that have taken place. Oh my God, God is doing some phenomenal things. And I'm going to tell you what, sometimes people don't always agree with the track and the road that you travel, but that's okay. It's okay if they don't agree. It's not for them to agree with everything. They may think you done lost your natural mind. It's okay for them to think you've lost your natural mind. Listen, I want you to know that when you move beyond your comfort zone, and when you step out and believe God, he will meet you right where you are. It's in the stepping out that he moves, because when you stand still, he's just waiting for you to move. When you stand still, nothing happens. Oh, but when you take that step of faith, and when you walk out and you trust God and you believe God, oh, that's when you move his hands, because he's touched by your faith. Your faith is what causes God to move, and your gratitude speeds up the process. When you have a thankful heart and you're giving him praise and you're being thankful for what he has done and for what he's going to do, oh, you move the hand of God and you touch his heart, and it gets so overwhelming with the joy of just wanting to bless you. And God opens up those windows of heaven and he pours you out those blessings. Oh my God, and they overtake you. So listen, today we're talking from Psalm 62 and 8, and it says it this way: trust in him at all times, O people. Pour out your hearts to him, for God is our refuge. I think we talked about God being our refuge yesterday as well, because God says, I am your refuge and your strength. In your weakness, I am your strength made perfect in your weaknesses. So when we become weak, that's when God's strength kicks in. And we want to know, oh my God, I just don't know how I'm going to make it. You're going to make it by the grace of God. You're going to make it by his power and by his might. He is your strength. He's your joy, because as the joy of the Lord is my strength. You ain't got no strength, you need to get some joy. You got some joy, you got some strength, my friend. So come on with me today. Let's trust in the Lord. He said, trust me with every fiber of your being. He says, what I can accomplish in and through you is proportional to how much you depend on me. But see, when we let everything go of our own understanding, and when we begin to walk according to the principles and the laws of God, that's when God begins to move, because it lets him know that, God, I'm trusting you. I'm believing you and I'm depending on you. And I cannot do this thing by myself. I got to depend on you, God, because you've been so good to me. You've been there for me at all times, and you've never left me, nor have you forsaken me. He says, one aspect of this degree to which you trust me in a crisis or a major decision, when we trust God in the major things. Listen. I just heard this. Listen. We so much look at God for the big things in our lives. What about the little things? Do we trust him in every area of our life? Do we give everything to him? The little teeny things, the minute things. Do we talk to him about it? Do we give him precedence in our lives every day? Do we wake up and say, okay, God, you're in control. You take the wheel, you drive, and I'm going to ride along and do what you tell me to do and say what you tell me to say and speak to who you tell me to speak to. It might not be for you to speak to that person today, because yesterday you was upset with them and you still holding that thing in your heart. So the best thing you can do is get yourself together and then go talk to the person. Because if you're talking to them and you got stuff in your heart against them, you just, oh my goodness, you need to get you need to get that thing right. You need to get that thing right. Because when you trust God, that means you give him every fiber of your being. You give him every ounce of who you really are. Because that way he can lead you and guide you. I said it yesterday. He knows what's up a road and around the bend. He knows what's up ahead. You can't see that far, baby. Some of us can't see no farther than our hand in front of our face. But listen, God wants you to know that I got your back. I am your refuge and your strength. All you have to do is trust me with every fiber of your being. And when you do that, when you trust me with every fiber of your being, I can help you to the decree of every major decision, every crisis. Because listen, God says, in me, I don't have crises. Crises are your thing. That's your thing. You call it a crisis. I call it part of your path. I call it part of your assignment. I call it a part of who you are. You call it a crisis because you don't trust me enough to realize there are no crises in me, to trust me enough to know that I'm directing your path. I'm leading you and I'm guiding you, that the major decisions that you call major is a part of your plan that I've created for you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, God is so phenomenal. Oh my goodness, God is so phenomenal. So he says some people fail miserably here at this particular point because we don't trust him like we say we do. And then we lean to our own understanding and we make these decisions and these choices that causes chaos in our life. And then once we create the chaos, we want God to rewrite the program and redirect the traffic so that we can get back on the highway that we're supposed to be on. Oh, but he's gracious and he's mercy and he does it for us. Oh yes, he does it. He do it. But he says, oh, if you would just trust me and let me guide you and listen to me. Listen. Get the people out your ears, he says. Stop listening to everybody else. Stop listening to those. Listen, that one particular person, you've been listening to them for years. I don't know who this is for, but anyway, here it is. You've been listening to them for years. And every time you listen to them and take you to a dead end road, stop. Change the channel. Get them out the way. Get them out your ear. Stop and say, God, forgive me for not listening. I'm listening now and I'm ready. Let's go. All right? When you do it that way, God said you won't fail miserably. But we get miserable, then we want to blame everybody else for our misery. Instead of owning what we're supposed to own, we want to blame everybody else. Own your own stuff. Own your own mess. If you made it, own it. And watch God work. After you own it, then you can do something about it. But if you can't own it, you can't do nothing about it. How you going to do something about something you won't even own up to? That's another question for another day. He says, while others are at their best in tough times, those that are at their best in tough times are those that are listening to the voice of God. Because this is how they move and they groove. They get the instructions from God. And now, is it easy? No, babies. Nobody said it was going to be easy. But listen, when we trust him, he takes the heaviness out of it and gives you the ability to follow him. Okay? Another aspect is even more telling. The consistency of your trust in me. People who rely on me in the midst of adversity may forget about me when life is flowing smoothly. And you wonder why. Oh my God, you wonder why sometimes so much stuff is always happening to you. Because that's the only way God can keep you flowing in the direction he needs you to flow in. Because when everything is going smoothly for you, you so soon to forget who brought you out. You so soon to forget the God that you prayed to when your back was up against the wall, when you didn't see the way how it was going to be made, when you didn't know what you was going to do. You forget. So sometimes you have to go through some stuff in order for God to keep you on your course. Listen, I remember when my daughter was growing up, and she would ask me, she says, why do you always keep your foot in my chest? I didn't really keep my foot in her chest, y'all. I didn't put my foot in her chest. I got to say that, okay? But it's a figure of speech, because I had to. Because if I didn't stay on her, she wouldn't give me her best. She wouldn't put forth her best to do what she had to do. She would be lackadaisical, as they say. She would not be giving herself her all. She would be cheating herself. So I had to stay on her. And I know your kids ask you the same thing. Why are you always so hard on me? I've asked the same thing of myself. Why my mom and them, why they always so, when I was coming up, why are you always so hard on me? Why is this and why is that? To keep you going in the right direction, to keep you going in the right direction. So God has to keep you going so that you'll stay flowing in the right direction, okay? That everything will flow smoothly if you just adhere to his voice and lean not to your own understanding. Difficult times can jolt you into awareness of your need for God, whereas smooth sailing can lull you into the stupor. Oh, I like this one right here.